Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this Lenovo Legion 5 17ARH05H. Alright, so I don't know if there's another model number on here or anything. I think that's it. I don't see, well, the stickers are removed, so you can't see that. Anyways, we're going to be using a PH1 or JS1 screwdriver to remove all the screws from the bottom. You want to keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that is I remove the screw, then I put them flat side down like this on my desk in the pattern I remove them. Alright, so we got 4 here, then we got 3 here, and then we got 4 down here again. I think actually multiple screws are missing from here, so I'll have to keep track of that and keep that in mind. Alright. If this video helps you out, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, so let's continue removing all these screws. There is something rattling around in here, so we're going to see what's going on. The customer said that their charger was like making a burning smell, but they said on the brick end, so I'm not sure how that works. We'll see. But okay, so set this aside. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna open the thing up so I can have it resting like that, and then I'll get my fingernails in this gap here and let's see if we can pop it out that way. All right. Okay, no, that's not gonna work. And also I cut my fingernails not too long ago, so this is probably gonna be extra difficult. But let's see. Okay, I did get in a gap here. So once you get in, you can see we can kind of pull on this. You can see it's coming out. You don't want to press on the trackpad, so I'm actually skipping this part. I'm not going to pull on that side. We're just going to go along, running my fingernails along. You can use plastic pry tools to do this, all right? You don't have to use fingernails, but I use what I have on hand, and I use what works well. So that's why I use my fingernails. They work better than pry tools, all right? Okay, so we got that. Oops, I clicked it back down. So we're gonna get this whole part here out, okay, just like this. All right, I should not have cut my fingernails because now they're too short and it makes it harder to do this. But there we go. All right, so now we got here. Then this part's gonna be a little tricky. I think we actually have to pry from up here. Let me see, where does the gap? Yeah, it goes in there. All right, then you can see we can pry from this, okay? And then we're going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, just pop that up. Then I followed the side edge here, but you can find whatever way you can to get into this gap here, okay? Because this one, I don't know why this side's being a little tricky. But let's see, we'll pull on this a bit. Okay, and all right. Nope, this doesn't want to come out for some reason. I don't see why. Oh, there we go. Okay, I got in the gap, and now we can pop that open. All right, so there we go. We got that. Let's go ahead and turn this over, and let's see about kind of picking this up a little bit and wiggling it. Seems like it's still stuck, so let's go ahead and lift this and see how we're gonna separate this part. So maybe we gotta slide a fingernail or pry tool into this gap here. Is that a gap? I don't know. It's stuck pretty strong there, but okay, we can kind of go in here, and that works. So I'm getting my fingernails in this gap, and it actually popped out one of the clips, but the other clips aren't wanting to come out. Yeah, that's stuck in there pretty good. You can see this piece came out a little. Yeah, probably shouldn't have cut my nails because this is now going to be really big pain. Okay, let's see if we can go from this side. Same thing. Okay, and we're going to go along this way. Come on. Yeah, it's stuck really bad. I might have to use my metal tool for this, so let's see here if this will help, because it's much thinner. And I don't know if that's actually going to help. It's kind of still stuck there. Oh, there we go. Okay. What else? Are these going to pop out? No. Okay, that actually worked. There we go. So now that we slid the tool down, you can see it popped and it got that out. So now we're going to have to go this side and continue doing the same thing. Just slide that in there and then just work your way down. And it seems like it helps pop it. All right, this part's stuck here. Wow, why is it stuck so strong? Jeez. Oh, there we go. Okay, these clips are stuck really tight. So there we go. We got the entire cover off. Let's go ahead and open this thing up. Okay, there we go. Be very careful with this. All right, and let's see what is in here that's rolling around. Wow, the thing is so filled with dust. Okay, so far I didn't see anything roll out or fall out of here, so I don't know what's going on. But look at these fans. They're completely caked in dust, so we are going to have to clean that up. And yeah, I don't know where the thing is that was rattling. Maybe it already fell out, but I don't see anything here. Oh, shoot. Okay, that's the worst case scenario. It's a metal screw, so that was likely rolling around and hit the motherboard. And let's see, where did this screw come from? Is there a place I can see that it came from? This is a somewhat long screw. There's one hole here, but this is probably for the bottom cover. Yeah, okay, those three. What else? Oh, shoot. Wait, is it from here? I think it's from here. You see this? There's missing one screw here, and it has this little arrow on it. So most likely that's where the screw came from. I'm going to line up the bottom cover and just confirm. Okay, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where it came from. Okay, so that's the worst case, is it broke at the charge port connection here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna plug a charger in here and just see if power is even going to each pin here. Because if power is going to each pin, then we should be okay. I'm gonna have to switch over to a PH0 or JS0 screwdriver. If you're wondering how I know what size screwdriver to use, it's not because I know which screwdriver to use, it's because I look at it and I just see what fits well, and you want to make sure it has a tight fit, okay? So there's no list of screwdrivers that I use for every single computer. I do it based off of just basically finding what fits best. Same way you would play with those little kid toys where you put a square in the square, the triangle in the triangle, kind of thing like that. Unless you have that weird bucket where everything goes into the square hole. All right, anyways. Okay, I'm gonna clean the dust out here from these fans and also from the bottom cover and whatever else. And then maybe I'll try resetting the battery and see how that goes. But yeah, I am gonna have to test this real quick. All right, so I'll clean that and I'll be back. All right, so I'm back. As you can see, this is a lot cleaner, okay? You can see the fans way cleaner, all right? Don't got all the dust clogging it. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna plug this in and then test the pins here using a voltmeter, okay? So let's go ahead and plug this in. Okay, let's see here. All right, moment of truth, let's see. Okay, so we're gonna plug this in. All right, so it's interesting. That's all it plugs. I guess the case sticks out. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we got that plugged in. We're gonna use a voltmeter here. Okay, it's set to 20 volts. I think this charger's like 19 or something. Oh, it is 20 volts. Okay, so we should see, maybe I'll set it to 200 just in case it's slightly over 20. Okay, usually the outer ones are the ground, and then the middle one's gonna be the positive. So let's see, 0.9. Okay, so we're not getting much out of that. Oh, here we go. Okay, 20.4. 20.4, and this is ground and ground, right? So okay, so same thing, 20.4, 20.4. So what's going on with this center one? Is that a ground? Oh yeah, okay, so now you got 19.5. So I do see power coming through. So that's kind of not a good sign, because that means power is going into the motherboard, but it's not still not wanting to turn on. So let's see, do we got, what is this? Get the magnets away from there. Okay. Yep, charge light's still off. So what I'm gonna attempt, because nothing's happening, we're gonna disconnect the battery and also disconnect the CMOS battery or BIOS battery. Okay, so the battery cables are right here. Let's show you here. So I'm gonna grab the wings of this CMOS BIOS battery and just wiggle it to pull it out. And the battery, does this have wings on it? I think so. Let's go ahead and do the same thing if we can. Okay, no, I can't. So I'm going to try and grab these wires, and you want to be careful not to damage them, but just wiggle it, all right? And then if you can get to the wings, then do that and use that to help you pull it out. If you are replacing the battery, make sure you have it in the right orientation. Black wires here, red ones over there. You don't want to try and plug it in upside down. Okay, next thing we're going to do, it always helps to kind of open up the computer once you disconnect the battery, and then we're going to press and hold the power button for 15 seconds to drain any residual power. This makes it a lot safer to work on, and also if the motherboard has some weird power issue where it's remembering that there was a short or something, sometimes this will fix that issue. Okay, so we'll hold it for a few more seconds. It's been 15, but we'll do a little bit more. There we go. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to short the CMOS or BIOS battery connectors here. So the 2 pins, I just get a screwdriver and then just go in between. Okay, so just like that, you see the 2 pins, I just touch them. Sometimes I wiggle it just to make sure that it actually touched both. Okay, hopefully you can see that. There you go, just like that. Make sure. Okay, and that should have drained the CMOS or BIOS by now. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to open up a little bit of stuff to show you guys. There's an M.2 SSD here. I'm not sure if it's PCIe NVMe or not, but let's go ahead and open this up. All right, I don't want to dig around too much. Okay, we still have to use the PH0 or JIS0 screwdriver. Looks like they like to use that size. On the bottom cover, actually, some of them use the you could actually probably get away with using the PH0 or JIS0. But yeah, I used the PH1 or JS1 because it had a more solid feel. All right, so anyways, we're going to remove the 2 screws. Wow, that screw was loose too. So good thing I'm removing that, because then I can tighten up all the screws that are loose. Oh, there's one more screw hiding up here. I didn't see that. I'm at a weird angle because I'm not looking directly over it. And this is a M.2. It looks like a PCIe NVMe. I don't know if it does it show on here somewhere? Usually it will say, yeah, PCIe NVMe SSD. So this is, yeah, you can get another PCIe NVMe SSD and upgrade this. Okay, so if you want more storage, you can do that. Okay, and you got the wireless card hidden under here, fan connector here. All right, I'm not going to take this stuff out just because nothing, well, unless the computer doesn't work and the customer wants me to take a closer look trying to remove everything. But for now, I'm just going to remove or just show like the where the components are instead of actually taking everything out, because I don't want to risk causing any more damage unless the customer decides we need to completely take it apart. Okay, you got the speaker here. Let me actually zoom out a bit. Speaker here, you can actually just pull this up. There's no screws. It's held in with these rubber things. And the cables going underneath, it looks like under the motherboard here. You also have this keyboard cable, which is just underneath the SSD. So you have to take the SSD out to get to that, it looks like. This is the keyboard backlight cable, and it's going underneath the motherboard. So maybe this is going underneath the motherboard, but it doesn't look like it. All right, you got the, again, the CMOS BIOS RTC real-time clock battery. You got the actual battery, which is L19M4PC2. Hopefully you can read that. Let me see if I can get it closer for you guys. So there's the battery model number if you need to replace the battery. Okay, there's a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive here. So right there, if you want, you can change this to 2.5-inch SATA SSD. But also, this appears to be another M.2 slot, which might support PCIe NVMe. The only thing is, the thing is underneath the... okay, I need to switch to a PH1 or JS1, I think. So, I kind of hate when the manufacturers do that, where they switch around the screw sizes. All right. I kind of want to check because the slot is making it so the SSD has to go this way. All right, and that means you can't use this. I'm assuming that if that's the case, this might be for an M.2 SATA only, but I could be wrong. Sometimes they'll make it PCIe NVMe anyways. Okay, so I see what's going on here. So we have this, all right? You want to be very careful if you're lifting this out. Normally you would unlatch this, so you would flip this latch up, and then you can pull that out, but I'm going to leave that in. I'm just going to lift this out of the way to kind of see. And here you can see you have these little bracket thingy areas here. Oh, I guess we'll clean the dust out of it, or hairs or whatever. Okay, so what's going on is they give you this bracket here, and this bracket you have to slide into one of these slots here, okay? So these wings, okay, so the way this goes is you see these two sides, they don't have any raised edges, while this side has these raised lips. So this side, you slide with this part backwards. So this part will actually go into this way, and then you can, depending on the length of the SSD, that's what you would use. And then this screw, I'm assuming, goes into here to hold the SSD, because this screw doesn't need to be used to hold this thing in place. Okay, we're gonna put this back down. This is a very standard 2.5-inch SATA hard drive setup. They did hold this down with adhesive, so if you peel this up, you want to be very careful. Usually what I do is I pull it to keep it flat, so when I do it, I kind of pull this cable that way, and then I just peel it up like this, because you don't want to like curl the cable over like that, or you can damage it. Alright, the USB port on this side, as well as the SD card slot and the 1 key recovery are all on that side. Okay, let's go ahead and get all these screws, and they are connected with that cable there. If I didn't already say it, or it wasn't already obvious, the charge port or DC jack is soldered to the motherboard. Okay. There's another little cable here, which I'm not sure what that's for, but there's like a little board going there. Maybe it's for the power button. Let me open this up and double check one more time. CPU and GPU are soldered to the motherboard. From the looks of it, I'm assuming this is, I'm assuming this side is the CPU and this side's the GPU. But they are soldered to the motherboard. And yeah, I don't know where that cable's going to. I'm assuming it's the power button, but I don't know, because it's not in the center here. It's like all the way over there. Okay, everything else soldered. You have this metal bracket for the lock. And then last thing we're going to do is take a look at the RAM, and then we're going to put the battery back in and see if we can power this thing up or if it's dead. All right, so let's pop this up. So I'm holding the motherboard down. I got underneath with my fingernail. You can use pry tools again if you want, but I find this works better. Kind of wiggle that, move that out of the way. It's held in with this adhesive. You want to be careful not to drop it on any live circuits. We did disconnect the battery and held the power button, so it shouldn't be bad if that happened, but you always want to be extra careful just to be safe. All right, so we got this RAM. It's 8 gigs PC4 3200AA, so you should be fine with any PC4 3200AA if you want to go with two 16 gig sticks or something like that. It's better to have two matching sticks instead of having like a 16 and an 8 gig. Yeah, so you don't want to, did I just see this wobble on its own, or that was kind of weird, or did I accidentally like nudge it? But anyways, you don't want to get mismatched sticks unless you're really running out of RAM. You'll know you're running out of RAM because when you run out of RAM, the computer will just all of a sudden go super slow. It won't be a gradual slowdown or slow from the start kind of thing. Okay, anyways, we're going to line this connector back up. This is the CMOS BIOS battery. Pinch that in, and if you are replacing the battery, make sure you keep in mind the red wire is going to this side and the black wire is going to the RAM side. Okay, so there's that. And also the speakers, the wire runs along from one speaker to the other one. So yeah, they're both connected in one spot. Also the fan connector for the other fan, if that wasn't obvious. Excuse me. And let's go ahead now and plug the battery back in and see if there's any change or if the motherboard is toast. So we're going to pinch the battery connection back in, just like that. Let's see if we can turn this thing on. Ooh, I see lights. I see lights. Is the motherboard, is the thing going to turn on? So because we reset the BIOS, it might take a while for the screen to come up. But that's a good sign because their power button wasn't lighting up. and now I see the screen lighting up. Come on, come on, you can do it. You can do it. Show me something on the screen. I hear, oh, there we go. So I think that screw was rolling around, temporary short. Customer might be lucky. You can see this is spinning around. Okay, we'll let this keep going. I'm gonna move this out of the way in case it shows their username and stuff. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna close it up, plug it in, make sure it starts up. All right, they have Windows 11 on here. And then we're just gonna shut this down and we'll finish putting this thing back together. All right, so we'll shut that down. It's turning off. Okay, computer turned off. Let's close this up and let's plug this in and see if it actually charges. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and lift this back up. You wanna be careful when moving this thing around. You don't wanna like damage the components here. But yeah, these heat sinks and stuff can be a little bit fragile, so be careful not to like squeeze them and put too much pressure. Okay, so we're gonna plug this in. And we got lights. We got lights. That wasn't lighting up before. So yeah, it looks like doing the power reset really did work. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom out here. Ooh, you don't need to see all my junk all over my desk. Sorry about that. You don't need to see my junk or my junk all over my desk. No, not in that sense, but okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and put the bottom cover back on. So we're gonna line this back up here. Okay, I need to do a, what do you call a thumbnail? Sorry, lack of sleep. Anyways, what we're gonna do, I think we've got everything back into place. Make sure, I might actually want to test and make sure all the screws are tightened down, because a lot of them were loose. You don't want loose screws in here. Again, that's a very bad idea, and that's what screwed this up in the first place. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of go to every screw, make sure they're kind of tight. Okay. The bottom was missing screws, so I wouldn't be surprised if more screws are loose in here. Yep, that screw's a little loose. There were like a couple earlier that I tightened that were loose, so good idea to make sure all the screws are tight. We already did that one. Okay, good. Battery screws are tight. All right. Okay, so I'm hoping that the only issue I'm hoping it wasn't his charger, because I know these chargers are really expensive. I would, it's too bad he didn't bring it, because then I would have actually tested it with a voltmeter. And yeah, but anyways, we're gonna just snap this all back together. So I'll line it up, and then we're gonna start from here because that's the last side we removed, and just make sure everything snaps in. Perfect. All right, and then work our way around, same thing, snapping it all into place. Good. All right, then you wanna check around, make sure all the gaps are lined up. Okay, I think everything looks okay. And then we just gotta get all the screws back in. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. I'm switching back to the PH1 or JS1. Again, use whatever works for you. If your screwdriver doesn't fit properly with these screws, then don't just blindly follow what I'm doing. All right, use what works best for you. Okay. There we go. So we'll get this screw. Gotta get all of these, but that's pretty much all there is to it. So yeah, again, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. You're welcome to stay as I get the rest of the screws in. I should probably, well, I guess I'll just show my customer outside that it charges well, and we should be good. All right, so let's get the last couple of screws in. All right, last one. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right, let's drop this. Bye.